Welcome to the MLM Solution Podcast Show, where you'll learn the facts and hear the truth about the network marketing industry. Here's your host, Rob Cootie.
Hello, Miss Marie. Hold on 1 minute. I'm learning that daggone producer. I'll tell you what. There we go. Sorry about that, folks. All of you on the video. Hey, we're trying to figure out some things, and I have not had time. I told Miss Marie, but I will do that this weekend to do the tutorials on the software that we use. We know most of it, but there's a couple little glitches that kind of throw us for a loop. And since this is Freelance Friday, we're going to talk about our daggone bugaboos, which just aggravates us sometimes. We were just talking about technology and how it can be such a challenge. And that's a prime example, is it not, Miss Marie?
Well, yes, the technology does not always allow us to stick to the script because every once in a while it tosses in a gremlin or two and has us scattered just a little bit, I'd say.
That scattered is a nice way of putting it. It's not something that you and I really want to deal with at this point. We're like, okay, we're smart enough. We should know how to do this. But unfortunately, technology, like kids, like to let you know that you're not always in charge and have control of things.
Now that is a good reminder for sure. You can have it planned out absolutely perfectly, and we could have the broadcast ready to go, and you never know. We're getting into fall, storms roll through, the electricity could go out. There are things.
True, I forgot about that. Do you have that?
Not so much here, but every once in a while we have some power issues. So,
well, we do too, but not as often. When we lived out by the river, the Ohio River, we lost power all the freaking time, and that's quote unquote in the better part of Louisville. So you would think that everything out there would be pristine and proper and working the way it's supposed to. Once again, technology lets you know, no, not so much.
Well, we had more electrical problems this past summer, I think, than we've had in the last 17, 18 years we've lived here, because we actually live on the bench of a mountain. And on the other side of the mountain from us this summer, there was a fire. And one of the electrical stations, transformers, whatever it was affected by the fire. So, of course, we lost power when the fire happened, and then the repairs and everything afterwards, power was going on and off for over the course of a week, I'd say. Like every once in a while, it's like all of a sudden, whoop, power's out again.
My gosh. It's always something, is it not?
It is. Well, and the scary thing is, if you really start to think about it, we're in control of far less than we really think we are.
I try not to.
Well, exactly. And I think that's true of most people. We like to think we're in control, and we like to, control the things we can, obviously. But every once in a while, we just get bit.
Yes. And hopefully it's not something serious, know. But no, you're right. The good Lord has a way of reminding you just how mortal and vulnerable you are. Right.
Well, and small, I think.
Small, yes, very good.
I mean, I don't know about you, Rob, but every once in a while I have what I consider a disaster happen in my life. And when I step back and think about it in terms of everything going on in our city and the world and the state, around us, it's like, oh, well, yeah, actually, that's really not so bad and not as traumatic and tragic as I thought it was.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've had obviously what's going on here in Louisville, and, the facts have come out, and we're not going to get into that. The facts are easy to find. We have been hearing that about the whole case for the past 5 months, but you and I have never talked about it, even private, because the investigation wasn't over. And not only was the state of Kentucky investigating that thing, but also at the same time, the FBI was working hand in hand with them. So the results that were announced by our attorney general, who's a very sharp young man, and I voted for him. The thing is that what he reported was a joint task or joint effort by the FBI in the state of Kentucky. And there's no disputing the facts. And I'm glad they used a grand jury. There was 23 people on the grand jury, and they were given that evidence over the last 3 months. And it was a diverse group of 23 from all sections of the city. And the thing is that they looked at the evidence, and you got to give them credit, Miss Marie. And, it was a volatile situation. No matter what they chose to do, was not going to be popular, but they did the right thing because all the evidence pointed to what he came out and he said. And all you have to do is go watch the video, and you'll see the details that he laid out. And we had been hearing that for a long time. Number of very verifiable sources. Not only did we know a lot of police officers here, but the wife before my time, used to date Louisville police and detectives. And so she's still good friends with them. And they were close to the situation. Of course, we would never repeat what we were being told, but what they were telling is, in fact, ended up being spot on. So they obviously knew, things that the general public and other quote unquote experts didn't know. And so we, obviously we kept our mouth shut. They asked us not to, release that information. And there's no way, it's not my place to do that. I don't want to be news first, especially in something like that, because it deserves its own attention and it deserves the right process and not somebody to stir the pot. And I'm not saying we're the only people that knew. There was a lot of people in Louisville that knew. It wasn't just us, And the thing is that it was a sad situation all the way around. But unfortunately, her and him, her boyfriend at that time, put themselves in that spot. And there was credible evidence that she was a part of her ex-boyfriend's at one time, and the evidence had led to the fact that there were still some activity going on. And the one thing the police did not know when they went over there is that she had broken up with that guy, but she was still active in that scenario, if that makes sense.
Yeah, well, and it's unfortunate. I think one of the things we're struggling with in the world today is the availability of technology and how fast, quote unquote, news can come out.
I know it.
Because things come out, assumptions are made, and a story gets built around it, then that becomes difficult to disprove. So when you have something like that 23-member grand jury go through all the evidence with a fine-tooth comb and report the facts, so many people have this story stuck in their head that they're not willing to face the facts and recognize that the two don't match.
Yes.
And that they need to deal with the truth, deal with the facts rather than the story that they've been buying into. And it's unfortunate. It's difficult.
It is.
It's creating havoc all over our country right now.
It is. I'll be honest with you. All the people that we know that we hang around are very level-headed. We're not, we don't like what's going on, but at the same time, we're not over the top. A couple things. Well, three things. One, the wife is from Indiana, small town Indiana. Her dad was one of the co-founders of Kimball Furniture, believe it or not, and Kimball Pianos. So small German communities like in Indiana is full of Germans all throughout. Small towns are dominated. And the way they survived is by starting their own businesses. In the early 1900s, when these people immigrated to the U.S. and settled in these towns, the only way they knew how to survive was to get out there and get their butts in gear and create a job and income. And this small town still to this day is an epicenter for commerce across the nation, not just locally in their small town or in their county, but regionally and, believe it or not, across the world. I'm blown away. I've been up there many times, and it's amazing how prosperous that town is and how many major industries were founded there. Well, one of the close friends of her, really a family member, I should say, and a close friend, he text her yesterday, and she said, guess what? John contacted me, and he said, hey, Melina, I'm hearing all this new evidence. Is it true that she was in the hallway? Was it true that her boyfriend shot one of the police officers in the leg as they were coming in? Is it true? And he went down this list of things that was revealed by the AG. And she said, yes, we've known that for a long time. He said, and they're conservatives out of Indiana. He said, but when we watch CNN, which evidently for whatever reason, who in the world would watch CNN outside of Martians? It's just a propaganda outlet. That's all it is. And MSDNC, well, he said that they watch, him and his wife, and they're business owners. They have a very serious business, and they own it and run it, him and his wife. And he said, well, CNN and MSDNC, they'd never said any of that. So he contacted her to get the factual information. Now, that just goes to show what you said a moment ago, just how divisive that information, who in the world would watch with all the proven, the numbers that have tanked for them in viewership, the lies they continuously get caught in the propaganda that they push. Who outside of New York and California would watch that goofy channel? I mean, that's the Comedy Central channel. So anyway, there is a prime example of what you just said. What's the narrative that's being pushed out, and people are gullible. Why don't they use their own brain? I don't know. I mean, I don't know about you, but I have a bullshit meter that's real high. I can pick up on it, whether it's a TV channel or whatever. I don't watch sports anymore. You know why? Because pissant, PSE opinion. I did that on purpose. I don't want to give them any respect. But they just become another left channel or a propaganda channel outlet. Well, I refuse to not. I'm not watching it because I don't want them to get my eyeballs on it. What I'm saying is I'm not exposing my brain to that. I've watched enough sports in my life that I don't care if I ever watch them again. And I'm a big football nut, okay? And but I'm not submitting my brain to that bull crap. And I'm not going to sit there and look at all their uniforms tagged with all this crap either. I'm not a racist. This country's not racist, and I'm not going to have somebody telling me that I am. You know, you're going to get this thing going at you. So anyway, the point is that it's unfortunate that, as you said, the message is getting out there. But even, you know what, Miss Marie, it's not the channels. Because look, the guys that own those channels are multi-billionaires. They write off CNN, PNC, all of that as a loss. It's a propaganda outlet. They push their narrative through those established outlets. Well,
here's my biggest struggle with the whole thing is I think journalism as a profession is pretty much dead.
yes.
All there is opinions and editorials on the air now. And it's so frustrating to me that in middle school, I had a journalism class and we were taught anytime you put together a story, you answer the questions: who, what, where, when, why, how, right? Yep. And if I watch any news broadcast, which I watch very few because it's just not worth my time, they don't tell me anything other than their opinion. They rarely even answer 3 out of the 5 questions. Let me give you an example, and this one's not even political.
Mm-hmm.
So as you know, out here in the West, we've had a lot of issues this year with fires because it's been hot, because it's been dry. There's other issues at play, especially with the California, Oregon, Washington forest fires that have been going on. But here in Utah, there is a major interstate, I-15, that runs north-south through the state. And down towards the south, towards Cedar City, St. George, within the past month or 2, my timing may be a little bit off, they had a wildfire start on the side of the interstate. And the news report was basically, hey, there's a fire. It's right next to I-15. Traffic is stopped. People are in peril. And it was caused by a truck getting a flat tire. It was a 4-minute piece on the news. They spent exactly 20 seconds giving information, and the other 3 minutes, 40 seconds was spent interviewing a woman who was in her car along the interstate with her daughter and her mother in the vehicle with her, with the fire so close to them, and they couldn't go anywhere because the traffic was stopped. So obviously scary situation to be in. Nobody was killed, nobody was hurt. It all worked out okay. But from a news story perspective, it was like, well, what kind of truck are we talking about that got a flat tire? Are we talking a pickup truck or are we talking a semi? And if it's a semi truck out here in the West, sometimes they're dragging 2 and 3 trailers behind them as well. Was it one of the big long trucks or a regular semi truck? How does a flat tire actually spark a fire? Tell me how that happens. And then the other pieces of information you really want to know, is the fire under control? Is traffic moving now? Is it still an issue? How long will it be an issue?
Yeah.
It's just crazy how little information they're providing, but they're stoking the emotion and the personal impact stories, which, you know, I feel for the people that were stuck in that situation, and I'm sure it was very scary. But in the grand scheme of things, from a news perspective, that's not news. No. Just give me the news. That's what I want to know. And that doesn't exist anywhere. I don't care which media you're looking at, whether they lean left, right, or even if they're in the middle. They're still not providing news stories like we used to get even 20 years ago.
No. It's tough to get the truth. If you're going to watch mainstream, I don't even watch mainstream. I mean, that's the bottom line. And yes, this is Freelance Friday. It is September 25th. It's currently 11:16 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Freelance Friday allows us to freelance. And that's what we're doing. And no, we're not talking politics. We're just talking life in general. And as this is a politically charged environment. And Miss Maria, I think I'm going to be starting a political, I won't say political world, I don't know, a current event, whatever, called the Rob Report.
Well, that'll be interesting. You're fitting that into your spare time somewhere?
Yes, I am. I'm actually doing it while I sleep.
I see. Okay. Well, this ought to be good.
Yeah. So I have not worked on it yet because my priority is this. This is my love and passion. But in today's environment, because of what we're talking about, if you know where to look, you can find there are real reporters, John Solomon being one of them. I think Dan Bongino is another great fact finder and truth teller. And in today's world, you got to be careful about who you follow and who you listen to. I think Newt Gingrich is pretty good. Obviously, he leans a little bit right, which is fine. I'm conservative, obviously, but, you know, I'm not extreme right. And I'm not saying Newt is either. He's old school, but he loves the truth and he reveals what he can. I mean, being connected the way he is politically, there's certain things he can't talk about. And I get that. You know, I was in the military. I still can't talk about some things without exposing myself. Or possibly putting myself in trouble to get in trouble, you know, if the word got out. So, you know, there's certain things that you can't talk about, and that's life. You know, we all have things in our lives that we prefer not to reveal, not because of embarrassment, but because of the fact that, number one, it's not really relevant to other people's lives, or we just don't like talking about our personal lives, right?
Well, exactly. And let me kind of connect what we're talking about here to network marketing, because I'm sure our audience is like, when are you going to talk about something relevant to the industry?
I know.
Well, here's my take on it, Rob. Just like in the news, you have left-leaning and right-leaning political type of information. In the network marketing industry, you have shades of variation in the story you're going to be told. You have the people that are going to come to you and talk to you about how wonderful network marketing is. They're going to make it sound like an easy get rich quick scheme, like it's all going to be unicorns and rainbows and those types of things. And on the opposite end of the spectrum, you're going to have those people that are going to be like, what do you mean you're getting involved in network marketing? That's a pyramid scheme. It's a scam. It's the negative. So there are opposing viewpoints within this industry, right?
Yes.
And that's one of the things we do, especially on Freelance Fridays, is we talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of the network marketing industry, because we're trying to bring the truth to light, the balance of what actually happens in the industry and how you can leverage that for success in your network marketing business. Because that's really what we're about, is trying to help you use network marketing as a tool to build wealth and achieve your goals and dreams. Because most people are looking to either earn more money, achieve a particular lifestyle, or obtain time freedom. Would you not agree? Uh-oh, did we lose Rob? Or did I freeze up? I can't tell which is which. Are you there, Mr. Cootie? Well, this is a fun broadcast. Well, I'm just going to keep talking, I guess, because I'm not sure if I'm still on the air and we've lost Rob. Oh my goodness, it's one of those technological gremlins we've experienced in the past, apparently. And there he went. He must have dropped off. So we're going to assume I am still on and good, and Rob will be back with us in a moment. Whatever happened, he may need to reboot his computer and may just need a couple minutes to come back. But as I was saying, we are trying to bring you information that you can use in your business to help become successful. Obviously, between Rob and I, we have a great deal of experience and background in the network marketing industry. Each of us has been involved in multiple companies. We've had experience in different compensation plans, different structures, different products. As you realize, as we talk about, we're more interested in the business model itself and building the business rather than the products themselves. The products aren't always that important. Obviously, we've done an episode before on the products. I recommend you go back and find that episode and take a look at that if you want to understand the difference between, the product-based business building and actually just using the network marketing model as a business building model. And Rob is back.
Hey, you were able to stay on, right? It was me.
As far as I know, I was still on. Yes, it
Okay.
looked like you froze up and then you dropped off. And
well, at this end, the whole screen went black. And what it is, remember I told you IMAX are famous for dropping the internet? Well, there you go.
Oh,
yeah.
Yep. See, that's why I said how we started out. We get bit by the gremlins when you're.
Oh man, I want to tell you, you know what? It's another thing on my long list of things I got to get done, but it's got to move up in priority because there it is. We've been fortunate that it has not happened, and I've had this iMac for a while. It has not had any issues, but iMacs are famous for dropping the internet. Sometimes it's software, sometimes it's hardware, but I'll get it taken care of. And I may have to use my little dependable MacBook Air in the meantime. So,
well, hey, whatever works and keeps you with us.
Well, thanks. I appreciate you carrying it up while I was gone. I knew you would. I just didn't know if you were on. So,
well, for a second there, I wasn't sure either, because I feel like in the past I've had some technical issues happen, and I felt like I was online and you were frozen up, and I'm like, so which one of us is off here?
I know. I mean, that's so aggravating. It should be dependable. It's technology. Isn't technology supposed to be dependable?
Well,
we're really struggling today. Thank God, today's Friday. We are really having a hard time getting in the groove today, but that's okay. Let's continue to tap on to what Ms. Marie said. I apologize, everyone. You're going to have days like this, Marie, and we just have to fight through it and make the best of it. And I'm sure our audience overlook it, because you're going to have an episode that you're going to throw in the trash can and say, well, that really sucked. And maybe this.
Oh, there he went again. And this may be the episode that needs to go in the trash can just because of the technical difficulties, unfortunately, because looks like we have the exact same thing again. For those of you joining us on video, you can see Rob's frozen up, and my guess is in a second or two here, he's just going to drop on off again and hopefully be able to come back and join us. But regardless of that, this is just a great example. Like anything in life, I don't know anyone, and I would love for you to drop me a comment and tell me if you have ever had a day that you had a certain plan in mind and everything worked out perfectly, like exactly went the way you wanted it to go for the day. I have yet to have that happen. Something always throws a monkey wrench into the works. And of course, in the case like this, when we're talking about, podcasting and having a video broadcast out there, you live by technology, you die by technology. Back in the old days, it was live by the sword, die by the sword. Well, today it's technology that's going to get us, right? We become so dependent on it that when it doesn't work, we just don't quite know what to do, and we just kind of hobble along in the meantime. So, but in terms of your business, you have to have a plan to work around, but you also have to understand that that plan is not always going to go exactly the way you hope. Things are going to change. You're going to have other opportunities pop up. You could have issues pop up like what we're having here today, but somehow you manage to fight through it and you continue working towards your goals. It's true in business. It's true in life. If you've participated in sports, I'm sure you've had the same thing. I mean, nobody goes into a game planning to lose, right? You go in with your plan of how you're going to play and execute your plan. If it's football, how you're going to play offense, how you're going to play defense. And sometimes it just doesn't work out because maybe the other team's better, maybe things didn't go according to plan, whatever it may be. But create the plan, work your plan, and deal with the little monkey wrenches that get thrown into it. That's kind of the way we have to roll, right, Rob?
Oh boy.
Well, it looks like your background's a little bit different now, so I'm guessing you changed computers.
I did change computers, and hopefully the sound is good as well. But you know what? You nailed it. You just got to do what you got to do. And today is one of those days that we'll soon forget, like 10 seconds after we finish this episode. But you know what? You're going to, like I said, you're going to have those throwaway moments, guys, and it does apply to network marketing, anything in life. You're going to have days. You remember we talked about in past episodes where you're going to have days where you're just going to struggle. And we tell you, don't beat yourself up emotionally because you have these kind of days. And you know what? You fight through it. If your goal was to contact 15 people, prospects on your list today, and you only get through 7 or 8 because whatever, family challenges, technological challenges, your timing's off, you're not able to get a hold of these people, you know what? You're going to get frustrated, just like we have during this episode, and you just got to fight through it. And as we told you, success has a different price for every person. And you just have to keep going and keep going and keep going. And, there's a lot of challenges that Miss Marie and I go through when we're putting together this for you guys that you don't see on camera or hear about. But you know what? We just keep putting our feet down on the pavement and we put our heads down and just bull ourselves right through those challenges because there's no other choice. And you know what, Miss Marie? Here's the thing. I remember I used to tell my prior wife, I would say, well, she goes, well, why are you doing that? And I said, because it needs to be done. She said, but there's going to be too many challenges to overcome to get that done. I said, if I don't do it, somebody else is. What's the difference between them and me? All the only difference, Miss Marie, is they're going to put forth the effort, whatever it takes. In other words, putting a new roof on the house. If I don't do it to save money, I'm going to have to hire somebody. And guess what? They're going to do it. So what's the difference between me and them? They got out there and did it. So, and that's a kind of a poor example, but the point is, it is an example of somebody that was willing to pay the price to get that roof done. And Rob, quote unquote, wasn't. I had more excuses of why I didn't want to put that roof on or why I couldn't put it on than the guy who actually did it. So it's no different in everything in life. You can find 1,001 excuses. That's an old cliche. But here's the thing. Somebody else is going to do it. And guess what? We give you examples all the time about we talked about the other day, peer success pressure. Guess what? Marie is doing phenomenal in her 90-day mini blast. I can have 1,001 excuses why I can't do it. I'm not going to, you know what? Well, good for her. Da. But I can't do it because. And then I'll start a litany of reasons why I couldn't do what she's done. Okay. And guess what? She didn't do that. She just said, you know what? 90 days, that's a short time frame. I need to get my butt in gear. And she didn't even think about it. She just got out there and started rocking it. You know, before she knew it, she looked up, 90 days was staring her in the face. And I'm still sitting back here at day 2. Well, you know, blah, 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 blah. So, you know, just like this episode, we didn't give up on this episode. I think we got spanked because we introduced a little bit of politics into it, which we're only getting about politics. But I think the tech giants heard us and said, no.
That could be. I don't know. But part of what you have to do too, when you're looking at your network marketing business, especially when you're first getting started and you're planning your 90-day mini blast, the biggest challenge most people I think is time, right? Because they are starting this network marketing business on top of everything else that they're doing. They probably already have a job. They have a family that they're supporting and need to be engaged with. They may have other activities and hobbies and those types of things going on. And sometimes you just have to step back and look at the things that you're doing in your life and what really provides you value and moves you towards your goals. And what are those things that you're doing just kind of out of habit? And this isn't network marketing specific, but just as an example, when Joe and I were getting ready to get married many, many moons ago, we were both.
It wasn't that long ago.
Oh, you might be surprised. But we were both working full-time jobs that I would put in the full-time plus category. Like we were both somewhere in the 60 to 80 hour work weeks.
Wow.
We both had a little bit of a commute with our businesses, or the companies that we worked for, I should say, at the time. And we started looking at, okay, so we're going to be combining households. What are the things you like to do? What are the things you don't like to do? And it was the kind of the home maintenance type things, because obviously the house needs to get clean, dishes need to be done, laundry needs to be done, all those types of things. And we kind of went back and forth, and it was interesting because the things Joe really didn't like doing, I didn't mind. Like laundry, for instance. I'll do the laundry. I don't care. Right. I don't like dealing with dishes and cooking, and he doesn't mind that. So that's great. But we ran into a problem where there was something that we both hated and did not want to do. We didn't like cleaning the kitchen, and we did not like cleaning bathrooms. So our solution ultimately was to outsource those activities. So before we even got married and had our house together, we hired a cleaning service
to take care of
that for us. And we justified it by saying, hey, look, our time is valuable. Why do we want to spend X number of hours every week doing this cleaning that we can pay somebody else to do?
Yep.
So, you know, it's those types of evaluations that you need to go through especially when you're starting your network marketing business, because you have to find the time to do it.
Yeah.
If you don't make the time to do it, you're not going to experience any level of success whatsoever. So it could be determining that, hey, that 2 hours a day you spend watching ESPN to keep up on all your sports, well, maybe you can cut that back to half an hour. I'm not saying eliminate it, because obviously it's something you enjoy. Most things you do them because you enjoy them, right? But what's the value that it's really bringing to your life? And would that time be better spent building your business? So these are some things to think about as you're getting started in your network marketing business.
Well put. I agree. And, you know, the thing about, I saw a tweet today when I was out promoting our show today. And that tweet was from a fellow network marketer. And he said, the 3 most prominent lies network marketers tell you. And I responded to it through our MLM solution account and said, only 3? Question mark. I said, then you bring up some good points, and then hopefully people listen, but there's a lot more than 3. And
We probably need to cut him some slack. He probably said like the 3 most prominent, right? You gotta limit it somewhere. If he
Well, I
did,
certainly wasn't giving him a wrong. I wasn't giving him a hard time. What I was doing was congratulating him on saying, "Hey, you know what? There's 3 lies, the most prominent lies," and I was like, "Dude, that's cool," but there's only 3. Because there's a lot more than 3.
and that's unfortunate, right? And that's one of the things we're here to do, is to dispel those and make sure you know the truth and know what you actually need to do step by step with the materials we provide, how to build a successful network marketing business.
Yeah. It's something that you could make probably a whole week on the most prominent lies that they, and we don't want to do that they tell you. And we could be specific. I mean, people go, "Oh yeah, I've heard that." "Oh yeah, I've gone through that." And they would relate to it completely. But we don't need to do that, because we just need to focus on what you need to do and not worry so much about what you don't need to do. Matter of fact, Miss Marie, that's kind of a segue into the fact that what not to do in network marketing. We talked about that the other day. We have a product has 146 audio files that reinforce the 146 paragraphs with real life examples of what not to do in network marketing and what to do. Okay. And that way you have both sides of the coin. You know exactly what this issue is with the business model and how to overcome it, or how to keep your eyes out for it so that you don't encounter it at all. It's much easier to avoid an issue with prior knowledge than it is to work hard to overcome an issue that's already in your business. For instance, Miss Marie, we talked about some of the things that can cause a cancerous situation in your business. Wouldn't it be great if you could avoid it altogether, instead of finding out you've got it going on and then spending your valuable time and your positive energy dealing with a negative situation instead of building your business? Well, I don't know about you, but I would much rather cut it off at the pass than have to deal with it.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to let some of those things grow and fester, because it just becomes more difficult to deal with down the line and becomes what I call a time suck. And that's our most valuable resource all the time, right? Is our time.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be losing it on things if you had just taken action right up front, cut it off, stopped it from happening, and moved on with your business.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And we touched on that a lot over the last few days in regards to dealing with negativity or negative situations in your business. And I think we did a really good job on doing that. So if you guys want to learn how to deal with those type of issues, you might want to go ahead and go back to those past episodes. And Miss Marie, we're building up quite a library of, how would you say, wonderful, informative shows that people can tap into. And I noticed that when I was on the site, our channel, I should say, and really our Facebook page, as I told you the other day, it's amazing how it's picking up. We got new subscribers again. That's awesome. Yes, it is. On both platforms. And so, things are picking up. The word's getting out. And the thing is, we bring real value. When we really start promoting, it's really going to pick up even more. Now, why do I tell you guys that? Well, because of the fact that this information is resonating with people. People are getting and understanding the value that we bring to the table. And one of our biggest burns is to expose the ugly side of network marketing for you guys. Miss Marie and I talk about it all the time. There are people out there that are scared to death to talk about the negative of network marketing, the ugly side of it. Okay, there's a difference between the bad and the negative versus the ugly. The ugly is really ugly. Okay, unscrupulous things are almost borderline illegal. And a lot of people don't want to talk about that in the industry. Well, you have a right to know that, because you don't want to fall victim and lose your hard-earned money to an unscrupulous person that's using unethical and immoral practices to get you to join their business, where this business may ruin your reputation amongst your friends and family. That's a serious situation, Miss Marie, and it needs to be exposed. And that's what we do. You're not going to get that exposure anyplace else. And you said, well, Rob, why don't people want to talk about it if it's such an important issue and such a prominent problem in the industry? Because, guys, people don't, number one, people don't want to make the reputation of network marketing any worse than what it already is. Okay, now I'm not saying the reputation is so bad that people are going, but that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that people understand there's a negative connotation, a dark cloud sometimes, a gray cloud, if you will, that hangs over the industry because of those unscrupulous things. Some of them found it on real events, and many of them, unfortunately, are unfounded. So the thing is that Miss Marie and I want to clear up those things that are true problems in the industry and dispel those that are out there that are unfounded, okay? And we don't have a problem talking about it. And then part of the reason is because Miss Marie, you and I are not active in the industry. Now, I'm not saying that I refused to talk about these things when I was active, because I did. I warned my new prospects, not right away, of some of the potential issues. Additionally, Miss Marie, I let them know how to avoid certain issues and that there was an ugly side, but I'm there to help them and to protect them, okay? And so I didn't go into great depth, but I at least let them know, because a lot of them did ask about those situations, and I would address it right up front. I was honest with them. And I found out that was the best way to do it. Now, you and I are taking a really strong, proactive stance on this and addressing those things. But the reason other people don't talk about them, guys, to answer the question is this. They don't want you running away from the industry. They want you running towards the industry. You might join their business. And if they are going to go out there and talk about these negative things, and you see their picture on a video or on a web page, whatever, you say, well, I'm not joining that person, okay? Because even though the negative may not come from them, you may associate them with the industry that is doing these bad practices, okay? And they don't want to take that chance. They want you to join their business. So they're not going to address it. They're not going to write books about it. Right, Miss Marie?
That's accurate. And then the other thing you have to consider too is there are a number of people in the industry that haven't been in it long enough or haven't enough experience with it that they've actually experienced some of these negative or even some of these ugly things. So if you think about it, like you're planning a hike in the wilderness, well, you kind of want to map out the direction you're going, right? You want to know the path you're supposed to follow, but then you also have to realize as you're going into that wilderness, the deeper you go, the more dangerous it can be. So anytime you can highlight the places where you're going to hit this patch of quicksand, or there's a beehive of African killer bees at this point, so don't go off the path too far here, you'll get attacked by the bees. You want to know where those issues may exist. So it's almost a cautionary tale as well. So it's not so much to frighten people off or to highlight the negatives or the uglies that are in the industry, but we want you to have the whole picture so you know exactly what you're dealing with. And again, it kind of harkens back to our product, that what not to do in network marketing. Well, guess what? That product came out of years of experience, mainly Rob's, that he decided to document, because these are things that I almost guarantee you every single one of them, if he didn't learn from a mentor not to do that, learning from other people's mistakes, he made the mistake himself. And it serves as a cautionary tale. Hey, this could happen, but why don't you avoid this? So learn from our mistakes. We don't want you doing those same wrong things, veering off the path in the wrong direction, even though it may seem like, oh, that's an interesting rock formation over there. Let's go look at it. No, don't, because that's where the beehive's hiding. It's just sting you in the butt. So don't get distracted by that. Stay on the path.
There you go. Good points. Absolutely. Sorry, I had to step away. The computer was running out of power. I had to plug it up real quick. It was already low.
Well, at least we didn't totally lose you that time, Rob.
Oh my God. This day is crazy. I hope this is not an indication of things to come for the rest of the day. I hope the house doesn't burn down. Maybe I shouldn't say that.
Here's my position on this, Rob. I am grateful that this happened on a Freelance Friday episode rather than one of ours that has an actual title with it, because I don't know if too many people are going to go and seek out the Freelance Friday episodes, maybe for the entertainment value. And this could be the most entertaining one yet, but
I agree. Yes. Yeah.
at least we're not disrupting a planned episode with information that we're trying to provide in a sequential format that makes sense. So I'm happy this is happening on Friday.
I couldn't agree more. This has been I tell you what, this has been the most challenging day that we've ever had. It's just one thing, after another. And once again, I'm dependent on my old, reliable MacBook Air to finish out this episode. And at least we're being professional. We're sticking with the format. We're sticking with the subject matter. And we're putting out still good content. And Miss Marie brought up a good point. Look, guys, we're not promoting what not to do in network marketing. It's not available right now, although the whole package is completely finished. But we're going to go live with all of the products at one time because I'll be honest with you, I don't want to deal with it anymore. I'm tired of working on them. So I want to get them all done and then make everything live at one time so that we don't have to deal with it anymore. And then we can focus on really increasing the quality of our product. And what I mean by that is our show, new direction, things like that. And Miss Marie, I've been checking into podcast backdrops for you and I. So just to let you know that'll be one of the things coming down the road. And of course, we're going to do interviews with some of the industry leaders, which is really awesome. And people that most network marketers will know. And of course, people that most people will not know. We're going to talk to average, everyday, hardworking network marketers. Okay. And now we want to hear their stories, right? We don't want them, they're not going to be promoting the industry. They're going to be talking about their experience in network marketing, what drew them to it, why they enjoy it, what they hope to accomplish with it. We want you to hear the everyday person's story. And instead of hearing Marie and I just talk about, here at our how would you say? In other words, we get tired of hearing ourselves talk. How's that? I'm trying to think of a nice way to put it. That's about as nice as I can make it. And if we get tired of hearing ourselves talk, I'm sure you do too. But no, I jest in all honesty. To bring even more value to this, we want to take the show to another level for you guys. Okay? And Miss Marie, you and I can only instill so much confidence in people. It's like your parents telling you, Marie, don't do that. Rob, don't do that. Okay, yeah, whatever. But yet, all of a sudden, one of our friends comes up and said, man, don't do that. I did that. And look, I'm missing a hand, Oh, okay. And it's the exact same thing my dad told me not to do. But there's real value in my friend telling me versus my parent. Well, you and I are the parents.
That's an interesting comparison because for anyone that's out there, if you have kids, especially once they get into the middle school, high school ages, you can be, as their parent, telling them something till you're blue in the face, and the next door neighbor or a teacher or a coach or somebody else can say it to them once, and all of a sudden, woo, the light goes on and it's gospel, and you're like, oh, that's what I've been saying all along. Come on.
That's exactly right. There it is right there. Yes, well, and you know what? That's exactly my point. You and I talked about doing interviews, and that's a powerful thing. No one else is doing that, and we've got some other really exciting things coming, guys. That lead generation site is just part of the package. Miss Marie building MLM online, the Masters Academy. I've got another project Miss Marie and I've talked about that I've had on the table for years, which is really going to be something special. And I don't want to release it because I don't want somebody else doing it. I don't even want to talk about it. But Miss Marie and I talked about it, and she got it right away. She's like, that's really good. Guys, nobody else is going to bring the breadth of products and knowledge and interviews that we do. It's not even close. Miss Marie, there is no competition for us. And the reason we bring that up, guys, because we want us to be your source of the truth for this industry. And we want you to depend on us. And we don't want to ruin that trust. And we're going to make sure that we work hard on bringing the best that we can to you guys to empower you. Okay. And if we end up being an entertainment channel for you, because as we continue to evolve this, we are going to take it into a talk radio type format. Okay. It may end up being 2 hours. We don't know yet. We don't know what's going to happen. We're just going to take another step forward and to serve you guys. Okay. And one of the ways we want to do that is to bring real people to this program that can share their stories with you. We've told you our stories. We don't want to talk about that anymore. You know, we don't even like talking about it one time, but we told you our stories so that you know what we've been through and in our experiences and things like that. And Miss Marie, I don't think that there's any way with you and I could do 1,000 episodes, and there's no way, I'll be honest with you, that I think our episodes are going to have any more of an honest impact than our products. You know why? Because our products are that coach. They are that teacher. In other words, they are that outside source that's going to have a bigger impact and influence on visitors than you and I.
Well, it's another layer of value we're bringing to people, right? I mean, obviously the podcast, these video episodes serve to kind of scratch the surface, so to speak. And the products we're going to be providing on the website that are coming available, and I'm super excited about them. It's going to be the deep dive, the step-by-step, exactly what you need to do, how you need to do it, and it's just going to help you propel your business forward that much faster.
Yes, yes. And matter of fact, Miss Marie and I will be talking about some of that after today's episode, because as I draw to a close on putting all this together, we need to make sure that we have everything set up where it's the easiest, most accessible information that you guys can have at your fingertips. And that means a lot to us because we want you to have instant access to the information you need, not searching around a large website through tons of material. And unfortunately, Miss Marie, I'm all about, you know, I have the saying, you know, I don't like cliches, but I do like life truisms. And one of the things I developed myself, I guess, because I've never heard anybody else say, and I've been saying it for years, and I'm not taking credit for it. It's not a self-promotion moment here. There's power and beauty and simplicity. Okay. And I always said that to myself. Why? Because when I was building these products years ago, when I started putting them together, I kept saying that to myself. So I would keep things simple and straightforward and not make them complicated and huge and large. Miss Marie, I have been a part of Frank Kern's programs. I've been a part of Mike Dillard's programs. I've been a part of Mike Filsain and Andy Jenkins when they were together programs. I know I'm leaving some out. Zig Ziglar's programs and Jim Rohn. My point being, their websites are astronomically large because of the vast knowledge they have. And what they would do is they would have multiple sites to put a small portion of those products on those sites instead of having one large, overwhelming site that blew people out of the water, right? And like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I got a great value. I paid $1 and I've got 8,642 videos and 9,462 audio files. You won't live long enough to listen to all of those or watch them. So it's ridiculous and redundant to offer something like that. And the reason I bring it up, because we're trying to avoid that. Okay. And Miss Marie, not every video that you and I make will make it, will make the cut.
Yeah, this one won't.
Well, I think this one's at the top of the list. This is a prime example of what not to do when having a podcast. So, but I think we're bringing this to a close. We just wanted to obviously close this with some good information and let you guys know what's coming down the road because it's all for you. Despite the fact, and this episode is probably one of the most important ones we have done, because guess what? We lived through the challenges that we always talk about. If you run into a challenge, what do? You find a way around it, underneath of it, over top of it, to the left of it, to the right of it. In other words, there's 4 different ways, or 5, bust right through it. But there's 5 different ways to overcome a challenge. Okay. And we certainly had ample opportunity here to say, hey, Murray, let's start over. I'll erase this one and we'll start over. But we didn't do that. Miss Marie picked up the ball and she kept going right on through, while I struggled to do what is normally an everyday event.
Yep, I think thank God it's Friday. I'm just going
yes, there you go. There it is.
I am so excited about what we have coming down the road. I'm excited to get into our topics that are coming next week. I'm going to say once again, as always, if you like the information we're sharing, you understand what we're saying, hey, shoot us that thumbs up, let us know. Be sure to follow us on our various social media platforms. You can find us by using hashtag the MLM Solution. That's hashtag the MLM Solution. And then, of course, also visit our YouTube channel. That's where you can find our videos. If you're listening on the podcast, and this might be a good video to watch so you can see how we're actually pulling our hair out as we're going through the episode.
That's a good point.
It's a whole level of different from just the podcast to the video. I tell you what. When you're out, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can register for those notifications by clicking on that bell. That'll let you know when we're going live, or at least give you that notification that there's some new material there for you. And then, of course, feel free to visit our website. Not 100% done, doesn't have all the material yet, but if you'd like to get a little taste of it, visit themlmsolution.net. That's themlmsolution.net. And Rob, I am excited for our episode on Monday, 11 a.m. Eastern time. It's actually going to be episode number 50. And I have a little something in mind for episode.
Oh, that is cool.
That I'm personally going to do, and I'm not even going to tell you, Rob.
I don't know. Oh, I don't know what to think of that. I'm excited and nervous at the same time.
Be sure to get all your technological challenges resolved so you don't go dropping off on Monday, because you're not going to want to miss this.
I promise I will do everything I can humanly to fix that issue. But I will have this as a backup. So there you go. We will not miss a beat. We will not have these issues on Monday. So I forgot. You're right. Episode 50 is Monday. Wow.
Well, and that's episode 50 of the two of us together, since you've invited me to join. I know you have many more podcasts that you did prior to me joining the show. So
yeah, 46 actually.
Wow.
And it's almost like a sitcom, 100 episodes, right?
Getting close.
So almost 2 milestones there. But wow, 50. And we said it the other day, it does not seem like 50. I mean that sincerely. I've had so much fun doing these. And as I've said many times, I'm grateful that you came on, because it's a natural fit, the two of us. And you know what, guys, all of you that listen and watch, I'm going to tell you something. What you see and hear, this is the way Marie and I have always gotten along. So, it's like brother, sister. We've always hit it off, and just her and I can go, 2-3 years, not talk, get on the phone, and just like we were talking yesterday.
Yep, absolutely.
So, right choice. That's for sure. All right, guys, we've taken up enough of your time. Thank you for joining our comedy show today, and our political commentary, which wasn't political commentary. We did the best we could under the trying circumstances of technology. The gremlins were bound and determined to interrupt, but we overcame. We are the champions. All right. With that being said, Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, everybody have a wonderful weekend. God bless all of you. And as we close, I want to say thank you to everybody who is sharing our platforms and who are subscribers. We are honored and flattered. We don't say that enough, but I don't want to keep beating that into the ground. But we are flattered and honored. It lets us know that you guys care about what we're doing, and that really humbles us and touches us. But thank you for that. Continue to share this information and our social media platforms with our fellow network marketers all across the globe. The world becomes a better place when you do. You guys take care. We'll see you Monday. Bye.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast.
Technology.
For more,
let's go. Is it not working, Ms. Marie?
Let me.
Thank you for listening to the MLM Solution Podcast. For more info, visit our website, themlmsolution.net. Please follow us on the following platforms: Facebook, YouTube, etc. And share this podcast with our fellow network marketers around the world by hitting the share button on our various platforms.